Last class we saw how to insert a record into Oracle database, and we used Hibernate to do it. Yeah. So Hibernate is one persistent technology which can be used to do persistent operations, and using Hibernate we inserted a record into the Oracle database. So in that example we actually learned one concept. What was that? We learned something called as ORM. What does ORM mean? Now you should be clearly understanding. Object Relational Mapping. So object will be mapped with what? The relational database. An entity or an object will be mapped with what? A relational database. How you map? The properties of the Java or the Java class or the entity class will be mapped with the columns of the database. That's why it gets the name Object Relational Mapping. So this is the key concept of Hibernate. The key concept of Hibernate is what? ORM. So it's the ORM technology, we say, Object Relational Mapping technology. And if you use this kind of technology, what happens? Writing your or doing your persistent operations becomes easy, because we'll be doing ORM, Object Relational Mapping. Clear? So we'll be again focusing on this only today also, ORM concept only. But what I'll do is I'll be showing you how to insert a record into MySQL database today using Hibernate. So this is on same example, but we'll be seeing how to work with MySQL database. So if you see two databases, you'll get the clear idea about how Hibernate is supporting ORM with so many databases also. Clear? So that's the concept today. So now fine. So let me explain to you now. So the example what we are going to see now is inserting a record into MySQL database using Hibernate now. Clear? Fine. So yes, if you want to do that, there are 5 steps you have to follow. Okay, the same 5 steps what you followed for Oracle example. So same thing you'll be following here. Yes, what is the first step? You'll create a table in database. Which database today? MySQL. So once you create it, what will be the name of your table? Employee, and it will be having 3 columns. What are the 3 columns? EMPID, ENAME, salary. So this will be your table which will be created in MySQL database. So that is the first step. Now step number 2, that side. Okay, you have to write a Java class which represents the table in database. So yes, your class will be something like this, class employee. So how many ever columns you are having in your table now, those many properties you will have in your class now, Java class. Yeah. So since there are 3 columns in the table of your database, you will be having 3 properties. So look at the 3 properties. EID, it's of type int, NME is of type string, sal is of type int, and you'll have segregator methods. So this class in Hibernate terminology is called as what? Either as an entity or a DO, domain object, VODB, virtual object database, VO, value object, TO, transfer object, or POJO, plain old Java object. So you should know this terminology, because when you are reading Hibernate documents, the authors go on to use these many terminologies to explain this class. In one scenario, this class will get one name. I'll be explaining you when it gets the name called as entity, when it gets DO. Slowly you'll understand. Clear? But these are the different words the author uses to explain that terminology, means this particular class. So step number 2 is done. You have to write the Java class. Then next, step number 3 is what? You have to do ORM, Object Relation Mapping. You have got an object now. Then you got the relational database also. Clear? MySQL is nothing but a relational database. So you have to do the mapping. So for doing the mapping, we'll be using one more file called as HBM file. It's called as Hibernate Mapping file. So that is step number 3. You have to write what? A Hibernate Mapping file. And what will be the name of this file? Carefully see. Whatever the name of your entity you got, same name you will use. But starting with lowercase. E will be small here. And the extension you notice carefully, it will be employee.hbm.xml. This is highly mandatory, you use this extension itself. So you'll write on file now. And in this file, you'll do the property and column mapping. Means that ORM, the property, these 3 properties will be mapped with what? These 3 columns of the table. So that mapping will be actually done in this mapping file. Clear? So then after doing that, step number 4, you have to write a configuration file. This is called as Hibernate configuration file, and the name of the file will be hibernate.cfg.xml file. That's the name you have to give, mandatory it is. And in this file we provide some information. What information we provide? We provide database connection details, and we provide location of Hibernate mapping files. You'll be saying these files now, employee.hbm.xml file, the location of these files will be specified in this configuration file. So that is step number 4. Fine. Lastly, the step number 5 is you'll write the client code. And if you write this client code and execute your program, record will be inserted into your database. Clear? So I'll be inserting 4 records here, like say 1 employee ID, name will be Ravi. So we'll be writing Hibernate program and inserting some 4 records like this. So another record would be 2 Kumar, and I'll insert 2000. 3 Amog and 3000, and 4 Vinay 4000. So these 4 records I'll insert now. Clear? We'll be saying this clearly, no problem. Now fine. See, if you have worked with the last class or the last example, if you notice, in this example everything will be same. That's the beauty of Hibernate. The table creation, you know how to create it. Entity generation, you know how to do it. Mapping remains the same. Client code remains the same. The only change where you'll be seeing is in your configuration file. That to what? You'll provide database connection details now. That you'll be providing for MySQL. That is all the program is. And you'll add the jar, required jar, because to get the database connection, what you'll do? You have to add MySQL jar. That's it. So if you do this much, you'll get this output now. So simple. So the beauty of Hibernate is, see, if at all you want to change your database also, hardly the change is occurring where? In a configuration file. That is the beauty of Hibernate now. And there will be no change in rest of your application itself. So one small change and you can migrate your database also. That's the flexibility it gives you. So now we'll start seeing the benefits of Hibernate also slowly. But first, let's concentrate on getting the output today. So I'll be writing a Java program now where it will insert a record into the MySQL database. Yeah, and I'll be using Hibernate technology. Are you clear with all this now? So these are the 5 steps. Note it down, and step by step, even I'll go on doing the same process now. Should I clear all this? So see, now to write the program, I am currently, last class also, I used the Hibernate. Okay, so we are working with Hibernate. This is the version we are working, Hibernate version. The number is 4.3.5 version we are working. Yeah, final version. It's called as final version. We are working with this. Yeah, and I'll be working with MySQL version. That is 5. MySQL version will be 5. Yeah. So these 2 things you notice now. Yeah. Fine. Are you clear this much now? Yeah, we'll go step by step now. What is the first step now? We have to create a table in MySQL database. Fine. So first I'll do that now. So go to MySQL now. Yeah. You have to enter the password to log into MySQL. In cluster, we have given the password as cluster itself. Done? So if you type cluster, it will log in now. That's the password what we have given for our MySQL database. Fine. Now, after you log into MySQL databases, type show, use caps better. Start using caps now. Show databases. Follow this convention. It is a worldwide convention. Always SQL queries are typed in caps, or whenever you work with SQL, it's better you use uppercase. Okay? Show databases. So show databases means show users. Right now in MySQL database there are 4 users. What are they? Information schema, MySQL, Ravi MySQL. But I'll be working with the user called as test. So it is in this user or schema we will create what? Tables. So to go there, what will I type now next? Use test. So fine, now you have entered test user or test database. Fine. Next, in this I'll say show tables now. It will give me the list of all tables. This query will give me the list of all tables in test user. So right now there are no tables in test. I will create one table now. So the name of the table is what now? Employee. So let's start creating now. So create table employee, correct? That's the name of our table. And the column names now, emp id. It's of type int. Size I'll specify as 3, and it is going to be the primary key now. This is the primary key in our table. Next, the next column what we are going to give the name is ename. Done. Varchar. Size I'll give it as 30. Fine. What is the next column? Salary. SALARY. Data type is of type int. Size I'll give it as 5. Yes. Write your query. Press enter. Okay. So the query has got executed. The table has got created. Now again you type what? Show tables. The table has been created. Let us see if there is any data in our table. Clear? So select star from employee. Right now there are no records. So this is our table now. So we have completed the first step. So now we have to go to what? Step number 2. Are you clear with this? Yes, sir. So we have to write the Java class now. Yes, for writing Java class what we use? Eclipse. Correct? Huh? So I will go to Eclipse now. So here I'll write my Java class. But we have to create one project now for writing all this. So I start doing the project now. Which one? A Java project I'll do. So yes, we are going with step number 2 now. We are writing the Java class, but we start off by creating a project, and in that project I'll write the Java class. Clear? So see this. How do you create a project? Right click, new, Java project. You have to give a name to your project. You can give any name, but I'll give it as what? 02 basic any name you want to give, MySQL. Done. Because I am working with MySQL database in this example, I am writing basic MySQL and say finish. So your project has got created. So next step, you know what you have to do. You have to add all the required jars for your project. Yes? So we'll add the jars now. So you know where we have kept all the jars. So we have kept all the jars where now? C drive, correct? Huh? My jars. So Hibernate jars. So in this we have got 2 folders, mandatory jars and optional jars. We have given you all these jars in your DVD. But and I have kept it in C drive, that's it. So you also copy it into C drive like this. So in mandatory jars there are so many jars. You have to add these jars, plus you have to add one more jar. Which one? MySQL jar, because today we are working with MySQL database. So you have to add this jar. So all the Hibernate jars and this MySQL jar you have to add to your project now. So let's see how to add it. So you know how to add the jars to your project? Very simple. How do you add now? Right click, properties, Java build path, libraries, add external jars. So yes, all the mandatory jars of Hibernate, see, it's getting, we are in my jars, C drive. If you go to C drive, my jars, in my jars, Hibernate jars, in Hibernate jars, mandatory jars, select all the jars here. Fine. Then one more jar you have to add. What? MySQL jar. Add external jar. Which one? Go outside. MySQL jar. This one. So add this jar also, because we are working with MySQL database. Be careful with which database you are working. That particular jar file you have to add. So fine. So you add and added, and all these jars are coming to your application now. Clear? This is project. So these many jars are required. Fine. Then next, now we have to write a Java class or entity class, but that entity class will be stored in a package. So I'll create one package now. So how will I create it? Right click, new class. Sorry, first I'll create, okay, I can create it here on new com dot cluster. I'll create the package. In the same thing I'll create what? Employee class also. So I'm creating one package by name com dot cluster, and in this package I'm creating my entity called as employee. Fine, finish. So it's done. Your employee class is ready, but you have to write your properties now, which will map with what? Class is there, but you have to write our properties. So let's start writing our properties now. What is the first property? Private int eid, that's the first property. And next, private string NME. Fine, that's the next property. Next property, private int sal. So these are the three properties. Why I'm going with three properties? Because there are three columns in the table. So how many columns are there? Those many properties you'll have now. Fine. So after that, next you have to generate the public segregator methods. So generate it. Source, generate getter setters, select all. Okay. So that's it. Your entity is ready now. Clear? Your entity is ready, and it is kept in which package now? Com dot cluster package. Yeah? So now we have to move to third step. What is the third step? ORM. We have to do object relational mapping. This object or entity will be mapped with what? The relational database. To do that mapping, we'll use what? One Hibernate mapping file. But what is the name of that mapping file? It should be the name of this class .hbm.xml file. So that file I'll create now. And that file will always be stored where? Next to the entity only. Means where you have stored your entity, there only will keep your mapping file. So where is my entity now? In com.cluster package. So your Hibernate mapping file also should be in the same package. Next to that only you have to keep. Clear? So see this. In the same package, I have to keep my mapping file now. This is very important. Clear? So right click, new file. What is the file name? Name of the same class, but starts with lowercase. E will be small. Dot hbm dot xml. Employee dot hbm dot xml. That's the name of your file now. Be careful with the spellings. So click on source. So we are now in the third step. We have to do what? We are writing the mapping file. So but yes, now your map, if you want to type anything in your mapping file, it's an XML file. Every XML file needs what? First, it needs two things. One is the XML version and the doc type. So these two things you have to copy. You copy it from your previous program only. Last class you have coded your program now. From that program only you can copy it and paste it. I've given it in readme.txt. From there only you can copy paste it now. Once you get that, you can start using it. So I'll go to the yesterday's program. In yesterday's program, see employee.hbm.xml is there. I'll go there. Be careful in copying. Copy it properly. See to that everything is selected properly. Copy it. Yeah? And after that, paste it into your mapping file now. Done? So this is the XML version. First line. Second line is what? Doc type. So these two things are mandatorily required in XML file. Add it. So once that is done, you can close the other mapping file now. Yes, it is done. So yes, here you have to start typing now. So if you want to type now, see actually when we are typing now, we need lot of support. We need the tool support, we say. Yeah, means we need the drop down of our XML tags. Okay, lot of support we need. First major thing what we need is the drop down for what? Our XML tags. As soon as you go on typing control space, we should give you what? The drop down of all the XML tags. If you want all that, you have to add something called as a plugin. A Hibernate plugin we have to add. What? Hibernate plugin you have to add. Now that plugin is available in internet. So now I'll add that plugin, and if you add that plugin to your Eclipse now, you have to add it to Eclipse. If you add it to your Eclipse, your coding becomes very fast also, easy also, and you don't have to by heart and remember any tags now. Clear? So that's the reason we'll add the plugin now. And as I told you, where is the plugin now? In internet. So I'll show you how to add now. So to add this, remember, you should be connected to internet. Are you clear? So write the steps. Steps to add Hibernate plugin to Eclipse. That's the point. Clear? So what is the point now? Write the steps to add Hibernate plugin to Eclipse. You are adding it to Eclipse. So Eclipse will give the full support. Eclipse is the editor now. So for that you have to add the plugin. So see now how I will do. So this is your Eclipse. Clear? So go there now. See, go to help. When you go to help, you have an option here called as Eclipse Marketplace. Click there. So right now it's getting connected to internet. So internet should be enabled in your system. So you'll get some screen like this. There are a lot of plugins for Eclipse, but we need what? Only Hibernate plugin now. So if you want Hibernate plugin, what you will do? You got a search option here. See there, find, go there and type Hibernate plugin. Done. Hibernate plugin and press enter. Start searching. Now Eclipse is searching in internet and it will shortlist. Right now there are so many plugins, but out of them it will pick only what? Hibernate plugins. Okay. So now see, it will start showing you so many options. Scroll down here. Hibernate entity definition language. Scroll down. Okay. JBoss tools, Luna. Luna is one more version of Eclipse. Okay. If you are using which version of Eclipse you are using, that one you have to install. We are working with Kepler version. The Eclipse what I am using is Kepler. So since I am working with Kepler version, I have to download what or install Hibernate plugin for Kepler Eclipse. If you are working with Luna, you have to install Hibernate plugin for Luna Eclipse. Like that, whichever version you are working. Just I gave an example. Scroll down again. Luna, no. Then what next? Again Luna, next. Hibernate tools, Indigo. Indigo is one more version of what? Eclipse. I don't want that. Again go, scroll down. Hibernate tools for what? Helios, no. Just search JBoss tools for Kepler. So nowadays, from now on, means recently, instead of showing Hibernate tools, they show it as JBoss tools. So don't get confused, but it is getting clearly shown now. JBoss tools, Kepler. So that is what you have to select, and you can read it here. JBoss tools 4.1.2 finally is an umbrella project for a set of Eclipse Kepler plugins that support JBoss and related technology. There are support for Hibernate, means we are adding the Hibernate one. Clear? We are adding the Hibernate plugin only. Clear? Just click what now? Install. That's it. So now that plugin will be installed in your Eclipse. So directly Eclipse connected to internet, and it is adding all the plugin to your Eclipse. Clear? So see now. Sorry, one more step you have to do. Here there are so many options. What you have to do now? Disable all first. Disable everything. This option you click, and here you select only what? Hibernate tools. Once you select that, here you select Hibernate tools. So and now say confirm. Now only Hibernate tool is getting downloaded. Otherwise what will happen? All the plugins will be added. So just select Hibernate tools. Disable everything by clicking where? On the top. All will be disabled, and now select only Hibernate tool and say confirm. So it will take some time. Clear? So now I accept, you have to click. Clear? I accept the terms and conditions and then say finish. So it's installing. Clear? So Hibernate is getting it from Eclipse is getting all the Hibernate plugins from internet. This is very crucial, and this plugin will help you to code Hibernate very easily with lot of drop down options and all that. You'll start seeing now how easy your coding becomes. And it's all about how you add your plugin. It depends which version of Eclipse you are using. I am using Kepler, so that's why I downloaded plugin for Kepler. So it's a very simple option now. What you did was what? You went to help, marketplace, and there what did you type? Hibernate tool. That's it. Hibernate tool means you will get the list, select the one for your Eclipse. And when you select it, it will give you plenty of options. Disable everything and select only Hibernate tool. That's it. Once this plugin is added, now you can start coding your mapping file. Now see, mapping file coding becomes very easy now. A mapping file, your configuration file and all that, coding those XML files becomes very easy. Click OK, you'll get some warning. Just install it. Yes, after it is installed, it asks for restart. Restart means what? Eclipse restart, not system restart. So it is asking you will need to restart Eclipse for the changes. So you have to restart Eclipse. If you click OK, it will only restart. So yes, you say okay. So now Eclipse will restart. All the changes will happen now. This Eclipse is restarting now. And done. So yes, we are coding the Hibernate mapping file now. See this now, coding this your mapping file becomes very easy because you added the plugin now. See this, I will start typing now. What is the root tag in Hibernate mapping file, HBM file? Hibernate mapping. So see this, Hibernate mapping. Now you start getting all the drop downs. Clear? See this, the root tag is Hibernate mapping. The child tag of Hibernate mapping is what? Class. Control space. You start getting the drop down now. So class. Yes, in this class you want the attributes. What are the attributes? Control space. I want name. Correct? Name. So what is the name of your class? Employee class. But you have to give the fully qualified class name. So we are doing ORM now. Object is going to be mapped with what? Relational database. That's what we are doing now. So com dot cluster dot employee will be mapped with which table now? Employee table. So right, table is one more attribute there. Table is equal to, use better caps. It is the convention we follow. Clear? Always database related things use uppercase. It will be very helpful for you. So class. Then next, this is done. The child tag of class is what now? Next, control space. I am to use ID because we will map what? EID will be, EID is a property that will be mapped with what? Primary key. So if you want to use primary key, you have to use the tag called as ID. So ID will be the primary key now. So we are going to use ID in this name is equal to, what is the property name? EID. And type is equal to what? Int. That's the Hibernate data type, correct? So then next, you have the next tag is column. Name is equal to what? EMP ID. Again use caps. And lastly, you need on auto increment now. Auto increment support. So I'll use what? Generator tag. So this will be used only for what? Primary key value. Okay, generator class is equal to what? Increment. So it is this tag which will automatically generate what? The primary key value for you. Generator tag is the tag which automatically generates the primary key value. Yes, we map the first property with the first column. Two more properties are pending now. Which are the other two properties? NME and sal. These are the two properties should be mapped with ename and salary column of the table. So we'll go with the next mapping now. So the next tag will be property now. Others you will use which tag now? Property you will use. Only primary key you will use the tag called as ID. Rest all properties you will use property only now. Property name is equal to what now? NME, correct? Type is equal to what? String. Yes, and then next this property will be mapped with one column. Which column? Column name is equal to ename. Yeah? Property column name is equal to ename. And next one more thing. One more property you are having. Property. What is that? Name is equal to SAL. Type is equal to int. Column name is equal to what? Salary. So yes, these are the properties now we have got. Correct? Sorry, these are the columns EMP ID, ename and salary. These columns we are mapping here. See this, EMP ID, ename, salary. And these are what? EID, NME and sal are properties in Java class. So fine, we have finished the mapping now. Fine, so it is done. Yeah. So then the third step is over now. Next, which is the step you have to do now? Employee.html.xml file is over. So next what we have to do is we have to write configuration file. Where will the configuration file be kept now? In SRC folder. So keep it there now. Yeah. So yes, how will you do? Be careful, mapping file in along with your entity in the package, but configuration file in SRC. We mean class path. Always the configuration file should be kept in the class path. That is SRC folder. So I'll keep it now. SRC, right click, new file. Hibernate dot cfg dot XML. Done. So finish. So it is going to be created. It is created. Go to source. So again, this XML file also needs what? XML version and doc type. So yes. So this also you copy it from what? Previous project itself. So here we have got hibernate.cfg.xml file. Go there, copy it properly, the XML version and what? Doc type, and paste it into your file now. So this is your file now. So we are in the fourth step. In this file, what are we supposed to provide now? Details. We have to provide DB connection details as well as what? Location of the mapping file. The two details we have to provide. So let's start coding that now. So yes, see this. The root tag of hibernate.cfg.xml is what? Hibernate configuration. So first, control space hibernate configuration. Okay, then next, hibernate configuration. In this, the child tag of hibernate configuration is what? You type control space, you start getting the drop down now. Session factory. Yes. Now the child tags of session factory are, let's start coding now. See, control space, I want property tag here. So first I'll provide the DB connection details, database connection details. And here, see, hibernate dot means control space. I'm getting the drop down. So you don't have to by heart anything. So for providing the database connection details, what should I use now? Hibernate dot connection, CON. That much you type now, so you start getting the drop down. Select hibernate dot connection dot driver underscore class. Now why am I getting this drop down now? Because I added the Hibernate plugin. If you don't add the Hibernate plugin, you will not get this. You'll have to sit and type by heart and code. So if you want all this support, add the Hibernate plugin now. So driver class, yes. So what is the driver class now? We have to use for MySQL com dot MySQL dot what? JDBC dot driver. Correct now? So this is what you have to add now. So that value you have to provide now. com.mysql.jdbc.driver. Next, driver is over. You have to provide 4 details for what? Getting the DB connection. Driver class, URL, UID, PWD are the 4 values what you have to provide for getting the database connection now. So first step is done. Next step is what? Property, we have to give what? URL. So hibernate dot connection dot, see this one, URL. So remember, property is a child tag of session factory. It's a child tag. Name is an attribute of property. This is the value you are giving for name. These are fixed. This value only you have to give for name. And the value for this tag now, you will give it as what? The URL. So what will be the URL now? JDBC, right, the details now. JDBC colon MySQL colon / local host. Correct now? / I want to connect with the test database now. Test user. We logged in, we are working with test user in MySQL. That name you provide. Fine, that is done. So second property over. Third property is what? Name and password. So yes, we'll give that. Property. Name is equal to hibernate dot connection dot username. The username is root for MySQL. Similarly, property name is equal to hibernate dot connection password, no? Yeah. The password for root what we have given is cluster here. So whatever password you have given for root, that you provide. Yeah. So here I have given it as cluster, so that's why I am giving it as cluster. So this is done. So you have provided all the database connection details. More details you have to provide here. Dialect also you have to give now. So we have to give the dialect, because what is the dialect going to do now? It is going to generate the native SQL query. Now Hibernate has to generate the native SQL query, means what? It has to generate the MySQL queries now for inserting the record into a database. So you have to provide the dialect. See this now. Property. Name is equal to what now? Hibernate dot dialect. Yes, sir. You have to give the dialect now. So I am giving now, see, org dot hibernate dot dialect dot, you have to give the class now. See, this is also a class, and this class you don't have to by heart. I'll show you where you find it. See, carefully see now. I still give the value there. Just a second. See, now you have added some jars now. You don't have to remember all the dialects. I'll show you where exactly you can find it. We have added all the jars. In your jar, see the reference libraries. I'm going there. One of the most important jar is the core jar, Hibernate core jar. Okay, one of the most important jar. In this Hibernate core jar, see, we are working with 4.3.5. Fine. So you just extract it here. You will find a package org.hibernate.dialect. See, this is the package. There are so many packages, but visit the package org.hibernate.dialect. In this package, you will find all the dialect classes for all the databases. See, I'll extract it here. Just click here. So these many databases Hibernate is supporting. What all? Some databases we are not in heard, don't bother. But Hibernate is such a powerful technology, it supports so many databases. Scroll down and you can see MySQL dialect, Oracle dialect. You can see this. So you don't have to by heart anything. So that Hibernate core jar is the main jar. In that, if you extract, go to what? Package called as org.hibernate.dialect. In that package, you'll find all these classes. See here. Here I am working with MySQL 5. So which dialect class I'll add? This dialect class. Spelling mistake, be careful, because it is a class, and you provide any name on your own, it will not be loaded. You have to provide the same, and don't make any mistake. org.hibernate.dialect is the package. Everything small. This class name you have to give it in this style itself. Highly case sensitive. Remember, clear? And this is for MySQL. Tomorrow if MySQL 6 comes or whatever comes, they will be giving the dialect class. So that one you have to use. Means whichever database you are working, add that particular dialect class. Okay, last class I worked with Oracle, correct? In fact, I worked with 11G. I worked with 11G Oracle, clear? But I added Oracle 10G dialect. Clear? I added this dialect. What currently Oracle is telling is, for both 10G and 11G, use the same dialect class. Understood? For two versions now, 10G as well as 11G, same dialect class will work. Again, for 12G, if they bring a new dialect class, you have to add that. Clear? Otherwise, if the same one has to be used, find it out and add the same dialect class. Clear? So this is the location where you find all the dialect classes. See, you have got for 8i, Oracle, 9i, but you have got only for 10 here. 11G is not there now. So that clearly indicates that it is for what? The same dialect class can be used for 11G also. So like that, whichever database you are working, you have to analyze and add that particular dialect class. And it is this class which will convert what? Or which will generate the native SQL queries. So in Hibernate, we do not have to bother about, if you use Hibernate now, if you use Hibernate, you do not have to bother about what? Learning native SQL queries of the database. Because the native SQL query of the database is going to be generated by whom now? Hibernate technology itself. That is more beauty of Hibernate now. But if you are working with JDBC, what is the problem? You will have to learn the native SQL queries. So these are the benefits what you are seeing now of what? Hibernate. Slowly you are seeing now. Yeah. So yes, I'll just bring it back now. I'll compress everything. Fine. So sorry, I should have typed that class name now. 1 second. Yeah, here. So the class name which we have to use are MySQL 5 dialect. So be careful now. org.hibernate. It's a class name, fully qualified class name we are giving. MySQL 5 dialect. Correct? Cross verify. Very important that you cross verify. See this. MySQL, everything caps, 5, okay fine, then D is caps. So it's a fully qualified class name you have to provide. Once this is done, yes sir. Then next, when the query is getting executed, do you want to see the query generated by Hibernate system? If yes, then you add one more tag now. What? Property name is equal to show SQL. Show SQL will actually show the generated query now. So yes, you can add that. If you are interested, you do this, otherwise not. This is not mandatory. Clear? So show SQL, what is the value I'll give? True. Means it will generate the whatever query is generated by Hibernate system, it will be displayed for you now while executing. And yes, we have provided all the information. Last information is pending now. We have provided the database connection details. Now one more information what we have to provide in the configuration file is location of your mapping file. So let us do it now. How will you do? Yes, for that which tag I have to use? Mapping. Correct? Mapping tag. In this there's a attribute called as a resource. And you have to provide the location of your mapping file. Where is your mapping file now? com slash cluster slash employee dot hbm dot xml. Be careful, no spelling mistakes. Yeah. So remember, I'm not using dot there. It's a resource. I have to use slash com slash cluster slash employee dot hbm dot x. It's a resource. Yeah. So that's why you have to use the slash there. So configuration file is done now. So fine. Everything done. So we are finished with what now? 4 steps. Last step is what? Writing the client code. So let's see this now. How to write it. Yes, I'll write the client in the package called as com.cluster. See this. Right click, new class. What class? Demo. Public static void main, finish. So you want to save one record now. So first I'll create the entity here. Employee is the class. EMP is equal to what? New employee. Done. After this, next what? EMP dot set name. So the first record what we decided to store was Ravi. Correct? And his salary will be 1,000. So this is the first record. No need of storing what? ID, because ID will be automatically generated by the generator tag. Generator tag is there now, it will generate it. So fine. So now we have to write the client code. So first I'll write the client code, I'll execute it, see the output, then I'll start explaining you line by line what happens everywhere now. Clear? So see this now. So configuration. This is a Java. This is a class now given by whom now? Hibernate people. Org dot. Look at the package. Hibernate dot CFG. Correct? So it is this class what you have to use. Configuration. Con is equal to new configuration. Done. So we have started working with what now? Hibernate classes API. Yeah. So then next, after this what? Con dot configure is the method. Sorry. Yeah. Then next, you have to create an object of properties. Properties. Prop is equal to con dot get properties. Yes, sir. So this properties is from which package? Java.util package. Import it. Fine. So then next, after that, you have to create an object of standard registry builder. I'll explain you all that. Don't worry today. Standard service registry builder. SRB is equal to new standard service registry builder. So now we have started working with what now? Hibernate API. Configuration, standard service registry builder. These are all our classes classes or interfaces in Hibernate API. And all these classes are also present where, you know, in that Hibernate core jar I showed you, know, it is there in that jar file. I show you, see there if you want. This is the package. Okay, so we'll go there and see now. So it is there in the jar file. Carefully observe reference libraries, Hibernate core. So yes, the first one, org.hibernate.cfg.configuration. Go there. org.hibernate.cfg. Yes, in this package you'll find what? Configuration class. So it is from this jar we are getting all this support. So if you don't add the jar, you cannot code only. Understood why you are adding the jar? The reason why you are adding the jar is we are using the built-in classes and interfaces provided by whom now? Hibernate people. So like that, it will be there. You don't bother now. You start off coding now. Are you clear? So fine. So this is it. Again, you don't by heart. I'll show you everything where it is, how you can understand, analyze and code. Clear? Nothing should be by hearted. Step by step you have to understand and code. So once this standard service registry builder object has been created, next I'll create an object of standard service registry. So let's see how you create it now. Standard service registry SR is equal to SRB dot apply settings. You have to pass the map object. So to pass the map object, which one I will pass? Properties. Properties is also map object only. Let's pass it, which I have created there. Dot build. So the return type of that is what? Standard service registry. So once this is done, next you have to create your session factory object. Session factory, yes, SF is equal to con dot, you should use the configuration object to create what? Session factory object. Con dot build session factory, there it's a overloaded method. Use the second one, which will accept the argument as what? Service registry, and pass your service registry object which you created in the previous line, SR. So fine. Now what happens? The session factory object is created. From the session factory you have to get the session. So it is here where you start doing your persistence operations. So next, session SES is equal to what now? SF dot open session. So this session is the most important object here. This is the object which is responsible for doing persistent operations. What do you mean by persistent operations? Inserting, reading, updating, deleting, everything. This is only responsible. So once you get the session, now you can do your persistent operations. But before you do your persistent operations, okay, you should do it in a transaction. So that is why I'll get the transaction object next. And inside the transaction, I'll write my code now. Yeah? Persistence operation. So transaction. Be careful in importing. All you have to import from what? org.hibernate only. See, one more transaction is there. javax.transaction. Don't import that. Import everything from what? org.hibernate package only. See, everything. See the packages. That's why I tell you always to import what? One by one. Don't use star. It will make a mistake. Yeah? It will be clear. So transaction tx is equal to, yes sir, a session dot begin transaction. Fine. So it is in this transaction what you start doing now? Your persistent operations. Persistent operations will be done in the transaction with the help of session object. Be clear with that. So I will be telling now session dot save. I have to pass an object. Which object I will pass? Your entity you pass, which is that EMP. That's it. Now, sorry, we have to do it in a transaction now. One more. Transaction dot begin. Yes, begin the transaction, and there, sorry, session dot, one second, just change this code. Session dot get transaction do. Session dot get transaction, return type is transaction. Just change that code. Tx dot begin the transaction. In the transaction, save your entity or domain object. We say save your entity or domain object. Commit your transaction. Done. After committing your transaction, next what will you do? Close the resources. Step by step you close. First close session, ulta you should go. Okay. Session dot close. Clear? Then session factory dot close. So client code is ready now. Yeah. So we'll run the code now. Let us see the output. Right click, run as Java application. Yeah, it has executed. I should have put on SOP, you would have understood. Fine. See, the query has got executed. So it has selected, and then what it has done? Inserted into employee. So this is the native SQL query generated by whom now? Hibernate. And if you go and see in MySQL database, select star from employee, earlier there was a record No. But now see, one record has been stored in MySQL database. Clear? I'll insert. We are supposed to insert how many records? 4 records. So one has been inserted. I'll insert 3 more. See this. And when you execute your program now, you will see some output like this. This is nothing but log. As the program goes on executing now, Hibernate is internally using log4j. And it will go on logging all the process. That's it. Clear? Whatever you're seeing in red color or whatever it is, it's the logging done by Hibernate architecture. Done. So yes, just last I put on SOP. This is out. I can print something so that it will be clear for you. Inserted successfully in database. Done. So just put on SOP there. Yes, next. Which is the record? Kumar, no? Yes. His salary is 2000. Just change one thing. Now see, run the program. That's it. Again, ID will be generated for him also. 2. It will be stored now. Again, go there. See, Kumar has been stored. Select star from employee, you type. Then next. One more record you want. What is the third record? Amok. $3,000 salary. Fine. You can run the code. So like this, you can go on inserting the records now. Done. Okay. See, here I am hard coding these values, but when you use Hibernate in web application, you'll understand these values will be coming what? Dynamically. Whatever values I am putting into the TO, we are hard coding, but later on they'll be coming dynamically for you. But just learn how to code Hibernate now. Focus is learning what? Hibernate. Clear? Last one. Vinay. And I'll give the value as 4,000. Fine. So like this, records will start getting stored in the database now. So again it is done. You can go there and check 4 records, and you can see all the primary key value is automatically getting generated. 1, 2, 3, 4. It is only generating. Clear? So this is how things are working here. Perfect, huh? Yeah. So now little I'll explain today of how these things are getting executed here. Means in the first line when I write configuration con is equal to new configuration, what happens and all that. Overview I'll give you. In the next class I'll be going very much in detail into all this execution process, and I'll be explaining to you. Okay. So here what happens is, see this. Here when you write configuration con is equal to new configuration, I'll write the comments. I'll go on writing the comments. See this. This line, what happens is it starts the Hibernate system. Clear? So when you say configuration is equal to new configuration, it starts the Hibernate system. There's something called as a Hibernate system. It will start off. Clear? Just overview get today. Detail I'll go next class, because you understood how to get the output now. Now you are really interested in understanding how things are getting executed. How to get output you understood, but how they are executing all that input, internal things you want to understand now. So that's what I'll go now. So in the next line now, what is that? Con.configure. So what will happen here? Can you guess? It loads and parses Hibernate configuration and mapping files. This will load and parse. You have got 2 files now. So the configure method is very important here. That is configure. See, only Hibernate system got started. When you said configuration con is equal to new configuration, only Hibernate system got started. After starting the Hibernate system, I have to read the values from XML file. So that's why I'll call what? Con.configure method. So it will start, it will load and parses. It will read it. Parsing is nothing but what? Reading. So configure method is going to load the XML file and parses the XML file or reads it. Then next, con.getProperties. What is this method going to do? So after reading all the values, it will store in the properties object as what? Key value pair. Properties is an object which will store what? key value pair. So whatever values are reading from the tags, tag it will read now. So key value it will start storing now. Okay, stores all settings, means whatever settings you have done, where in the mapping file, store all settings as key value pair. Done. Then next, these things will happen. Now next you have to create an object of something called as standard service registry. After that you have to create an object of standard service registry. This object you have to create. But to create this object you need an object of what? Standard service registry builder. So standard service registry builder is a class which will create an object of what? Standard service registry. So first we will create standard service registry builder. So that is one responsible for creating standard service registry. So yes, then next, so I will write the comment on top only for this. Used to create an instance of which one? Standard service registry. This I am writing it in the top itself. Fine. Next, after that, yes, what will standard service registry do now? This is very important. Standard service registry, what it will do is, it will start all the services. There are so many services which will be configuring later. Right now I am not configured. In the Hibernate configuration file is there, no? Hibernate.cfg.xml file. They will configure some services like example, transaction service, JNDI service, caching service, whatever you want you will configure there. So all those configurations what you do now for services, okay, means the services what you configure in the Hibernate.cfg.xml will be started. That's it. So that's what we will tell. Standard service registry will start all the services configured in Hibernate. I'll write it in next line. Configuration file, like example I'm writing transaction service, comma JNDI service. JNDI service means you'll be doing the lookup now when you are doing connection pooling. So that service you will need. Then caching service. Caching you know now, keeping a copy of the database in your application. Caching. So like this, whatever you configure. Right now we are not configured. Slowly you'll be adding all that. So whatever you configure will be started. So fine. Like caching, etc. I'll write etc. Like that many things are there. You'll understand. And after that, see, this is very important now. You have to create the session factory object. This is very important now. Now you have to create your session factory object using what? Using configuration object. This also I'll put it on the top itself. After all the services are started, then you'll create your session factory object. Done. Then after that you will start your session. See, this is very crucial now. Start the session. So when you start the session, in the session you can do what? Persistent operations. Then you'll get the transaction and you will begin the transaction. Then you will save the domain object. See, now we call it as domain object. The domain object means what? It is related to business logic now. Right now, what means when you are developing applications, this entity will be representing some business logic. When you are writing a business logic, you'll need the values. All the values will be stored in this object now. So that's why it's called as domain object. So save the domain object. Then what? Commit the transaction. Then close the session. Then finally close the session factory. So this is what is happening now. So you do not have to worry in detail. I'll give you very big notes, clear notes on all this. So just overview I given to you so that in the next class it will become more comfortable for you. Clear? So these are the things what you have learnt here. Clear? So fine. Coding we understood. Inserting the record into MySQL database we understood. Okay. But fine. Now do we have to buy out all these tags? Do we have to buy out all these classes interface? No, not even that. So we have got documentation for all this. Okay, you got Hibernate documentation. So whatever you don't understand, you can refer to what now? Hibernate documentation. So now I start showing you where you can find the reference or the information or documentation for all these classes and interfaces which we have used till now. Yeah. So yes. So go to Google now. You have to go to what? Google. Yeah, we are in Google now. So type here Hibernate. Okay, we are working with which one? 4.3.5 version now. Hibernate 4.3.5. Okay. API Java docs. Use the right keyword. Understood? Java docs. Now you'll get the link. First link you are seeing here means go to the link called as what? Docs.jboss. So now as I told you, Hibernate is from which one? Red Hat community. JBoss is one of their product. So in that link you'll find it. Okay, just click there. Open a new tab. You can see this is the documentation. Clear? So here you can see frames, no frames. Okay, there are two options. I'll come back there. See, these are the packages. Which so many packages are there where now? In Hibernate. Okay, so if you want to still see it clearly, click on what? Frames. So first I'm showing you all how to identify the classes and all that. Then I'll show you about the tags. So right now we are seeing the classes. See here, so many packages are there where now? In the org.hibernate package. org.hibernate.cfg now. We are working with configuration now. See this, I'll go there. Yeah, if I click on this package, here I'll see what? The list of all classes and interfaces present in that package. See now, I'll click there. Here it changes. These are the interfaces. So I told you, configuration is a class. See here, can you see this? This is a class which is there in that package. So click on that class now. If you click on this class, this side it will change now. What it will show? The different methods in configuration. So click there. So see this. Configuration is a class. And you can scroll down and see what are the different methods. See, these are the fields. So many fields are there. Fine. And this is the constructor which we used. Configuration config con is equal to new configuration method summary. See, so many methods are there. Okay, so you can download and keep on copy of this in your local system. Otherwise every time you'll have to depend on internet. Clear? So con.configure I said now. Con dot what? We called something. See, con.configure. I called this method. Then next con dot get properties now. Get your properties. Return type of that was what? Properties. Then I called one more con dot build session factory. So these are the different methods we used in which one? Configuration. Build session factory. See, I used this method. I passed the service registry as an argument. Yeah, return type of that was what? Session factory. So like this you have to understand. And more information you want, click on the method. So it will give you the list of all the information, what it is doing and all that. I wrote the comments in one single line, but more in detail information you can find it here. So always refer to docs and code. You might not understand it the first time, but gradually as you go on coding every day, slowly when you refer to this, you'll start understanding slowly. Clear? But make it a habit, because why am I telling you this is you have a habit of by hearting and coding. I am not suggesting you to by heart and code. You should have a very free and relaxed mind in coding. Clear? Otherwise the subject becomes what? If you by heart and code, it is tough. If you understand and code like this, it's going to be easy. You will love coding it. So I am just making coding as a passion for you now, rather than your style of coding what? By hearting. So here it means finally I've shown you where to find the information about what? The methods, the classes, the interfaces, the packages, all this. So in fact in our DVD also we have downloaded this and given it to you. So you can refer there, otherwise you can download it from internet, which I showed you can download. But refer to docs and code, Java docs. Yeah. Now next coming to the tags now. What are the different tags? What are the different attributes? Eclipse will help you to give the drop down, that is okay, but still you want to have more clarity which tag is doing what and all that. So fine, that also I show you where to find the information now. Are you clear with this now? Fine. So for that, see again I'll go back to Google. Clear? Go to Google, here you type. Simply you type any tag which you know, but type like this, different attributes of, it's only the search of how you type. I am using this, different attributes of property tag in Hibernate. 4 I'll type. Done. Different attributes of property tag in Hibernate. So press enter. Okay, you can see here again docs.jboss. So go to that link, click there, right click, open a new tab. See, there are some chapters. They have kept that information in some chapter number 5. It might change. You don't stick on to chapter number 5 only now. Clear? But go to that link, scroll down. Means these are all related to mappings only. Clear? Or which one? XML tags. Scroll down. Once you scroll down, you start seeing now mapping declaration, class, name. Correct? That's an attribute. Table, discriminator is one more attribute. So many are there. ID is a child tag of what? Class. So like that, you'll start seeing all the examples. Scroll down and here you get complete information. Slowly. Okay, like this you'll understand. Go through this. Hibernate mapping is one more tag. Yeah. So then in that schema, catalog, these are the attributes. So they are giving you what this attribute is and what is the value you can provide there. Scroll down, you can notice all the tags there. Class. So these are the different tags, attributes of what? Class tag. So many are there. I showed you what? Just name and table. So many are there. Discriminator and all, just now what you saw. Yeah. So and they are explained you all the attributes here. Now all the tags, all the attributes are not mandatory. Most important ones we are covering. Okay. Gradually as the coding goes on, you will understand which tag, which attribute, which value to use. One. Do not sit and decide that I learn all the attributes and tags in one go. It is impossible. As and when you go on coding with your experience, you will start understanding all this very, very clearly. Are you clear with this? So this is the art of learning Hibernate. Clear? So I showed you where all these tags, attributes and all are there. So it's about all you how you type it in the Google now. I use the search line as what? Different attributes of property tag in Hibernate 4. Like that, whatever search line you want, you type, but see to that you will search for what? The different tags like this, and there you can find out which tag, which attribute and what value you can give. Okay, initially I'll be teaching you which tag, which attribute, which value, what it will do. Gradually as the course progresses, when you become now you are an amateur, now next when you become professional, that time you can start referring to these websites, Java docs and all that, and you can code in a better way. So I just showed you the references because this is very important when you are working in company. Institute and all okay, but when you enter companies you will need lot of support from Hibernate, and all this support you will be finding in this references. Yeah, so you should know how to refer now. Yeah, fine. So this is one more thing what you saw here. Yeah. Now so much I told you about Hibernate. Now some benefits we'll discuss if you use Hibernate in your project. What is the first benefit you are seeing here if you use Hibernate? Some benefits we'll discuss. One of the benefit is if you migrate your database, you'll be changing only code in what? Configuration file, no? That's one beauty, no? Just I want to change from MySQL to Oracle. So what you will do? Create one table there and just change what? The values there. So now see how easily it becomes decoupled now. Your application is not at all linked with what? Database only. So that flexibility it makes. That is one advantage. Okay. Then next. Now some more advantages we'll discuss. One more is supposingly in my table I will add 2 extra columns. Where? In my table. Correct? So when I add 2 more extra columns, now what will I do? In my property, like example, phone and email, I'll add 2 more columns where? In the employee table. If I add 2 more columns in the employee table, here I'll add 2 more properties. That's it. Okay. And in mapping file, I'll do the mapping. That's it. So once you do this, in the client code you see, still it remains what? Session dot save only, no? That's all. Means if you are using JDBC, imagine you would have written queries, insert into and all that. Any change to the database table, you have to make change where? In the query. Imagine if you are having a huge application, where and all you will go on searching for your query and where and all you will go on changing now. So maintenance becomes very difficult with what? JDBC. When you go on changing your tables or entities and all, maintenance becomes very, very difficult. So this is the benefit. Yeah. Third thing, we are not learning what? Native queries. So like that, slowly you start understanding the benefits of Hibernate. Then it is an ORM tool. It will directly map what? The object with the relational database. So working with database becomes very easy for you. So like that, more advantages you will see. But this is what you have to explain in the interview. What is the advantage of Hibernate over JDBC? Means these are all the plenty of advantages. Yeah. So fine. Now what we'll do is, I've shown you how to insert record into MySQL. Let us see how to do CRUD operation with what? MySQL database. Means we saw inserting, how to read a record, how to update a record, how to delete a record. All that we have to see now. So we'll work with the same table now. Okay. And I'll show you how to do the read, update and delete operation. That's called as CRUD operation. Creating a record, reading a record, updating a record, deleting a record. So I'll show you how to do the CRUD operations with MySQL database. See, I have finished inserting, only reading, updating and deleting I'll show you. So yes, for this I'll create one more project. Okay. And I'll do it then. Most of the things I'll copy paste. Just follow it now carefully. So new, what I'll do? Java project, correct? Huh? So 03. Yes, I'll give the name as MySQL, and I'll use something called as a util class here. That's also one key concept here. I'll be introducing MySQL util, and my project name I'll give it as CRUD. Is it legible, or shall I change it? Or I'll do one thing. I'll say CRUD means we are going to do what? Create, read, update, delete with MySQL database using util class. Yeah, CRUD, MySQL, util. You can give any name. Just I'm following some convention so that when you look at the project name, you'll understand what exactly it is containing. So CRUD, MySQL, util is my project name. Fine. So yes. So you know the steps for writing any Hibernate. Step 1 is create the table. Table is ready now. Correct? Step 2 is what? Create the employee entity. Okay, means we have to add the jars now. I'll add the jars. Yes, MySQL jar you have to add. Along with that what? Hibernate jars. Add all the Hibernate mandatory jars. So all jars have been added. So now you have to create what? The employee. So that I'll create on package com dot cluster. Yes, I'll just copy and paste that. Which one? Employee, correct? I've coded employee in, so this I'll copy and paste. So third step is what? Mapping. So I need a employee.hbm file. So that also I will copy and paste. Clear? So I'll put it where now? In the same package. So after that, next what we need, because we are working with the same table now, same entity, same table. So just I'll copy paste. So then next what we need? Configuration file, fourth step. So I'll copy the configuration file also and paste it where? SRC. That also done. Last step is what? writing the client code. That's it. So I'll write the client code and do what now? CRUD operations. Yes. So now coming to the client code, one important thing here. Now understand, when you are coding projects, your project will have various modules. Okay, we'll be coding a big project. This is, we are working in PSVM. Think you are working on a project now. So when you're working on a project, what happens is you'll have various modules, and in all the modules you'll be having DAOs, data access object. So in the data access object, you will have to consistently go on writing what? The client code again and again to get what? If you want to use Hibernate, you have to write the same client code again and again, no? Up till where? Some part of the code is very common, up till session factory. Up till session factory you have to go on writing the same code now. So you are going to write it redundantly in what? All the DAOs. So instead of writing redundantly in all the DAOs, we'll write one util class now. And in that util class, we see to that we'll return our session factory object. And that's it. So whenever you want your session factory, directly I'll tell what? Hibernate util dot get session factory. That's it. So in this example, I'm showing you two concepts. One is how to write a Hibernate util class. Very important. In interview it is definitely asked. What? Write a Hibernate util class. 100% interview question. So that's one interview question I'm covering, as well as what? Parallel I'm showing you how to do read, update, delete operations. Clear? So I show you how to write the util class now. So see this. Concentrate now. So I'll put my util class in the same package. Which one? com.cluster. Right click, new class. I'll give my name of the class as my Hibernate util. I'm just using the prefix called as my, so that it will be comfortable to you, because if I directly write Hibernate util, you'll think it's a built-in class. But in industry and all, they give the name as what? Hibernate util only. Just for avoiding confusion, I'm having the prefix my Hibernate util. Fine. So I'm showing you how to write the util class. Carefully observe now. Clear? Yes. So here you have one private static final variable of type what? Session factory. Done? Just 3 steps you have to follow. Now next, after that you have to initialize it. Fine. Static. Okay, just have private static. Where is this error? Session factory. We added the jars, huh? Okay, just a second. Tired statics. Okay, we have to declare a variable. Sorry, man. SF. We have to declare a variable. So fine. So we have declared a variable. Make it as final actually. Is equal to null. I have to give. Yeah. So fine. I'll initialize it. Just say this. So next write one private, one more method you write, private static. The return type of this method will be session factory, and I am going to give a method name. You can give any name. I'll give it as build session factory. Yeah. So you write the code now. So this is a private static method what we are writing. See this, same code, no change, but I'll write it only in try catch block, nothing else. Yes, now you know the client code now. Same code you write, configuration, same code. Why we are writing it in the util classes? It will avoid us to write again and again. That's it. Configuration, con is equal to new configuration. Then next what? Con dot configure. Yes. Then next what? Properties. Prop is equal to con dot get properties. Done. Then next what? Standard service registry builder SRB is equal to new standard service registry builder. Fine. Then next what? Standard service registry SR is equal to SRB dot apply settings of prop dot build. Next, now you have to create the session factory object. Session factory FCT, some variable name, is equal to SR dot con dot build session factory of service registry. Done. And here you say return FCT, you'll return it. Fine. And in the exception block, system dot println session factory creation, some message you give failed. Give the variable name as ex. Then I'll say throw a new exception in initializer error. I'll throw one exception. I'll catch and throw an exception. So that's it. So then one more method we'll have now. Yeah. So what will I do now? See, how will I initialize this? Can you guess what I do? You guess? So I'll just call this method and initialize now. This is a static variable. As soon as this util class is loaded, the static variable will get initialized. How will this static variable get initialized? Immediately we'll call this method. This method will return what? Finally it will return what? Session factory, and the session factory SF will be initialized. That's all the concept here. But yes, but both are private here. We need access to private this one now. So what I'll do now, next thing, I'll have one more method called as public. Understood? Return type of this will be, it is static again. Session factory, yes, good. So then you'll be having the method name as get. Any method name you want to give. Get session factory, yes. Here what will you do? Return what? SF. This is initialized now. This is initialized now. So return that variable. That's it. So one static variable you'll have, two methods you'll have. One static final variable, two method. One method to initialize that variable. Yes. Build session factory will initialize that static variable, and get session factory will return that initialized variable. That's it. So hardly three members, one static variable and two methods. One method initializing it, other method returning the initialized value. That's it. So this is your util class. You believe or not, 90% of the companies will be writing the same util class. So it is highly mandatory that you should know how to write this util class, and they'll ask it in interview. Yeah. So write this. So it will be written once and used throughout your project. So in your project, what you'll be writing now? My Hibernate util dot get session factory. That's it. So no more client code from now. Understood? We will never be seeing the client code from now, because we'll be only working with the util class. So it is ready. Yes. Now I start writing my our code for doing persistent operations. So yes, right click, new class, what? Demo. correct? So I want public static void main there, fine, finish. So you see now how I'll get the data, which one? Session factory. That's it. So all I'll tell is session factory SF is equal to what? My Hibernate util dot, say I made it as a static method, that's why. Correct? Util class will always be having a static method, it will return you that value. Good. So it will be static. Then next what? You need session, your persistent manager. This is the persistent manager which will do all the persistent operations. So let's start seeing now. Session SES is equal to SF dot open session. Yes. So now next we have to do all the persistence operations within a transaction. So I'll have a transaction now. Transaction TX is equal to session dot get transaction. Done. Yes sir. TX dot begin. Yeah, here it starts off. I'll do one thing. In this example I'll show all the four. Clear? Inserting, reading, updating, deleting. Yes. So see this. Code to insert into database. Comment. Okay. So yes. So now for inserting code into database, what you have to do first? You have to create an employee object now. If I want to insert a record, emp is equal to new employee, fine. Then next emp dot set name. What I'll take name? Give any name. I'll take MALLU Mallo. Some name I'll take. emp dot set sal. I'll make it as 5000. Then next, all I'll do is what now? Sorry. Yeah, let that remain. All you'll do is one second. Yeah, session dot save, and you have to pass emp. Then you'll do what? tx dot commit. Yes, you know that. Session dot close. Yes, then you will say session factory dot close. So first let's execute this code and check whether it is working or not. Everything is fine here. So we are having 4 records here. When I run this code, what happens? One more record gets inserted. Yes, you can see it has been inserted. Go there and check. There are 4 records. All has been inserted. So fine. Next. I'll do one thing. I'll put it here. The transaction dot begin. I'll put it here. Fine. Yes. Then next. I'll comment this. I'll comment this. Yes, now code to read a record from database now. Yeah. Yes. Let's say this how it will happen. Tx dot begin the transaction. Yes, a transaction is there now, begin it. And next what do you have to do? You have to do the persistent operation, reading now. So see how will I do now? SES, I'm using the session object. Dot, I'll use a method called as load. Load is one method. And I'm using the first load method, which is having the argument as what? Class and serializable. I'll use that. Yes, sir. So class means you have to give employee dot class. So then here you have to give, that's the argument you have to give, new integer of which record you want to read. The second record, the primary key value you give now. 2 I give. 2, 3, whichever one you have got now. What are your records here? The primary key value you give now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, no, that value you have to give. That's it. Clear? So once it is loaded, so the return type of this method is employee emp1 is equal to some name you give. That's the return type. It is object actually. Typecast it. That's it. It's loaded. Understood? So object relational mapping. You will not write any query key and it's loaded. So next what will you do? You can access the value. So see now I'll access sysout employee ID is plus emp1 dot get EID. Then next employee name is plus emp1 dot get name. Then next employee salary is emp dot get sal. That's it. So we are now reading the records. That's it. Close the transaction. Done. That's it. Now you can see the records. We are doing SOP, notice. Could not pass Hibernate configuration file. Print this only now. It is working. Some problem was there, but just I rerun the program. Nothing I changed. It is working fine. Okay. So see this. It's printing. Employee ID is 2. Employee name is Kumar. Employee salary is 2000. It's in between here. The query has come. Which one? That select query. But I didn't write. The native query was generated by whom now? Hibernate itself. Done. So that's how you do the read operation. Clear? Next, what do you have to do? If you okay, if I want to, now I'll read what? Third employee. Third employee who is who? Amog. Correct? Huh? Yes, you can read that also. Whichever employee, just give the primary key value. That's it. Now see 3. Amog. Salary is 3000. So this is how you do the read operation. But which is the method I used? Load method, and load is a method present in session object. Done. Next, so we finished with this. Then next what? Updating. I'll show you. Now this is done. Next, code to update a record in database. Done na? Code update record in database. Again, tx dot begin. Then next. Say okay. See here, same thing you have to, which employee you want to update now, that you have to load first, correct? Huh? Load it. I want to update which one? Amog. Amog salary I change to something 3,333. Some salary I change. Correct. So I have to first load it. After loading, next what will you do? How will you work? EMP1. Okay. This. Okay. EMP1 dot set. You want to update the salary? Set sal. How much salary? 333. Give whatever value. Not only that, if you want, you can update anything there. EMP1 dot set. Name also I'll change. But generally we don't change name, but I'm showing you whatever property you want, you can change. I'll change it to what? Amok Kumar I'll do. It was only Amok, but now I'll change it to what? Amok Kumar, like this. Whatever you want, you can change. But here you are changing only where? In the TO. But this will not be updated into database. If you want to update this into database, what you have to do? Session dot, which method I am calling? Notice, update is the method. First I load. Then what I'll do? First I loaded. Which employee you want to update? That I loaded. Then next what I did? I'm changing the values in the TO. I'm not working in the database. I'm changing the values in the TO. Then that TO I'll update into what? Database. So I'm not saying save. Why? Because save will insert a new record, but update will update an existing record. Yes. Now you're understanding. We are working with database as what? We are working with database as what? Object now. So now this EMP is actually called as VODB, Virtual Object Database. This is a virtual database for you now. Employee is what now? In this scenario, it's a virtual database. So we call, and it is work. You are working it as a object. You are working with the database as an object by calling what? Segregators. Whenever you want the value from the database, am I writing the query? I'll call getter method. When I want to set the value into the database, I'll call setter method. So that is why it gets the name VODB. You are understanding now how it gets the name? Entity, VODB, domain object. Understood? POJO. So that's why the authors will go on using these words. So fine. Let us see now. So after that, what you have to do? After updating main, you have to commit the transaction. No? Yes. So if you do this much, now say first I'll not run the program. First I'll show in the database for you. What are the records? 3 Amog 3000. That will be changed to what now? Amog Kumar 333. So now see. Again same problem I think. I don't know why I'm getting this, but it should not come. But okay, anyway, just try again after that. Yes, it's executing fine. Yeah, there are no mistakes, but still some exceptions occurring there, no problem. So it has been changed to what? Amog Kumar and 3333. So this is how you do the update. Now last operation I have to show you what? Deleting a record. Almost all same. See this. So this I'll comment again. Yeah, code to delete a record in database. Again same story here also. What? Begin the transaction. Correct? Begin the transaction. Which employee you want to delete? I'll delete the employee by name 4. Who is 4? Vinay. Vinay will be deleted now. So then after loading it, next what you have to say? Can you guess? Session dot is a method delete, and you have to pass your employee and commit your transaction. If you don't commit the transaction, it will not work. Remember that. Yeah, if you don't commit it, it will not work. So that's all. So you're saying delete. So if you do this, again what will happen? The record will be deleted in the database. Yes, delete has happened successfully. Now we can go and check in the database. Select star from your door. Vinay has been deleted. So this is how you do the CRUD operations. So this is what is VODB, Virtual Object Database. ORM, all the so many concepts, terminologies you would have understood by now. Clear? So practice all this, learn how to write the util class, very important. Clear? Steps to code to create, insert a record and write. That's it. Clear? In this example, plenty of things are there. Code both the examples. Clear? Okay, that's it. Okay, before we conclude the class, I have just documented what all CRUD operations we have done in the previous program. You can go through this. See, the title is Doing CRUD Operations in the Hibernate. Okay, I just documented and this document will be given to you. Okay, so you can follow this there. See, following are the various CRUD operations means create, read, update, delete, which you can do with the session object. Okay, first one for creating a record. How will you do to insert a record into it? It's the same copy paste code I have done. So what we do, we begin the transaction and we just say what? Save. So what will this save method do? It generates ID for primary key and inserts into database. Then next, if you want to read a record, what will you do? To read a record from database, transaction.begin, same, I've just copied and pasted, nothing I've done. Session.load, employee.class of, whatever you want to load. Once you load, then you got the employee object now. From that employee object, you can get the values. And then you commit it. Then for updating, what will you do? Again you load. After loading, what you will do? You can call the setter methods. After calling the setter methods, then you'll use the update method in the session object. So, and it will be updated into the database. Finally, deleting a record. Same thing, you'll load and you'll call session.delete and then you'll commit. That's it. So you are using the delete method of session now. So we just covered 4 methods. What are the 4 methods in session? Save, load, update, delete. These are the 4 methods in session object. So that's why we say session is a persistent manager and it is helping you to do persistent operations. That's it.